What were some of the reasons for your unhappiness towards WWE? Obviously, they released you, but were there specific things that you felt you were unjustly treated, that you were unjustly treated, or wrongful accused is the wrong word, but like,
Yeah, I know what you're saying. And the truth be told, Ryan, is it would be sexier if I told you, yeah, they did this to me and they did that to me. What they did for me was they provided a great living for my family, and you know what I mean. They always took care of me at every uh, stop, at every problem, around every corner. I was a drama king because I was on drugs, and they took care of me a great deal. And then I became a liability, and so they were like, "Okay, got to let you go." I have no idea what I'm talking about right now, Ryan.
no,
Bring me back.
no, you're exactly where we need to be, because this is what we want to hear. I mean, this was a difficult time in your life, and you're going through changes, and now you're in this storyline where you're going to just start poking the bear, pushing buttons, getting under the skin of people that were your friends, are your associates, former bosses. I mean, through anything, you're in the business. You always hear "don't burn bridges," but like,
Yeah.
you guys are throwing gasoline voluntarily at this point.
We're trying to burn that son of a gun down as hard as we can. And look, they did nothing wrong to me. It would be, like I was saying earlier, sexy if they had of. That they didn't. They didn't do it. This was all of my own doing. You know what I mean? This was me and my addiction and my lack of coping skills, and I didn't know how to live life. I went through life like a hurricane with horns. You know what I mean? So I was destructive and destroying every relationship, both personal and professional, I had at this period of time. Yes, there were some good times of wrestling in between there, but this was a bad time for me, you know?
Were there any other names in mind, or was it always going to be a VKM reference trying to throw the bitch shot?
No, it was going to be VKM for sure. And me and one of my children, I sat in my recliner, and one of my children sat on the computer, and I said, look up all the words that start with V. And then I thought like, oh, voodoo's cool. And then I thought, well, voodoo kin is like if he's going to be Kip James, like we're not really kin. So it's like kabuki, kins. Okay, voodoo kin. Okay. And then the mafia it just seemed to fit. So we came up with voodoo kin mafia, and Russo liked it. I mean, I came up with that and Russo liked it. And then we got, of course, down the road, we got Roxy Laveau. Um, that
Mhm.
was, played off of the Madame Laveau or
Yep.
Laveau or whatever her name is in New Orleans and all that.
Yep.
So, yeah, it was all over the place. And because I really didn't know what we were doing, uh, from a character standpoint, it wasn't something that we could take and evolve. It was either going to end drastically or nothing. You know what I mean? It's probably just going to end drastically. And that's what people like at the end were like, oh, you knew they weren't going to do anything. Well, we tried. We tried to get their attention, and we tried hard. You're going to find out as we keep going.
As absolutely, we will. As you guys are doing this, what's going on WWE TV is Shawn and Triple H are putting DX back together. Did this piss you and Billy off a little bit? That was kind of your thing?
Well, look, to be honest, yes, it did. But I want to be perfectly clear. It pissed off a couple of guys that were in active addiction. It was a couple of guys that's egos gotten out of control, and we thought we were bigger than the business, and we thought how dare they fire us? And look, it's once you come out of that fog that is drug addiction, and you kind of clear your mind and start thinking about your part in all this, like what did I do? Man, I did it all. They didn't do anything. I did it all. And Billy's the same way. So we've grown up, you know what I mean? And we realize at the time, those feelings were real. And I would have fought either one of them if they'd have showed up somewhere. I mean, but I fight my brothers too on Thanksgiving. But that's just how we roll. And so I would have fought them at the time. Like now, I think about that and go like, man, what a piece of crap I am. You know what I mean? Like what a bad person. Like that's
No,
not
but is that fair to say that it's all the addiction? And can't you actually be like have the ego to say, "Hey, I I know that you weren't wronged, but but you could still feel
Yeah.
anger, frustration, disappointment, resentment, based on the situation. You were on top of the
Yeah.
world. It
I
was taken
felt I
away.
felt all of those things you just named. I really did. But again, I think they were wasted emotions because they weren't coming from a balanced place. You know what I mean? So look, I do take the blame for a lot of stuff that I probably uh, shouldn't take the blame for, but I believe in holding up my end of the deal. I believe in the responsibility, my personal responsibility. I got to do what I got to do. And that's what we were doing here. Me and Billy, they put us together. Now here we go. We go with the Dudleys. We do a little deal. Now we're gonna try to get Sean and Hunter to meet us at the Alamo. Like the whole thing really is just sticks, to different sketch comedy things and having a good time. But also like if they come out here, you know what I mean? Or if we like we would have I would have fought either
Yeah.
one of them. And now I wouldn't fight either one of them to save my life. You know what I mean? Like that's just how I look at them both now.
Where
180-degree difference than how I looked at them both then.
growth and evolution. Another member from adfreeshows.com, Top Guy Eros asks, when you cut the promo on Hickenbottom and Levesque, was it things you had stored up ready to say, or did this all come out raw and unfiltered in the moment?
So it definitely all came out raw and unfiltered because I'm not a guy that writes his promos down. I'm a guy that thinks about a few things and make sure I get to those. And look, for that one promo, it was get to the $1 million challenge. I may have taken a right turn at Albuquerque instead of getting there a little quicker. But yeah, it was off the cuff, man. A lot of it. But however, so it's a little bit of both because it was stuff that I stored inside, but then stuff that I could kind of just let go of in my promo, so I didn't have to think about it. It was real to me. You know what I mean? And that's, like I said earlier, if I believe the words that are coming out of my mouth,